Hello and welcome to Roll for Fate Shadow over Caeryfyndon. This project is a collaborative effort between over 3 weeks between me and a large group of students at Animas High School to create a game show like Critical Role. Using D&D as a storytelling medium, we'll be diving into a story completely designed by us. All the sets, NPCs, and art that you will witness will be made by us, and I hope you enjoy it. Shout out to all the players, Gareth, who's running all of our cameras and audio, and Oliver and Andy, who put this all together. I hope you guys all enjoy this and have a wonderful time listening to our story. And with that, let us dive into Session 1. The hunt begins. A long road winds through the countryside. Years of disuse have made the road weathered and overgrown. Nature is creeping back into its home. However, as of late, travel has once again started to tame the unruly road. The weeds have been stamped down by the constant thrum of animals and carriage wheels on the earth, and animals are once again learning to avoid the road for fear of the subsets of man. The road turns sharply into a valley, and the mountains tower over the valley, shadowing the trees which mask the road, and the fields, leaving it laid bare. The air is fresh and salty in the valley, blowing up from the sea into the hills. The road winds itself into a small village, and down into the watery deep. Around 40 buildings stand together against the backdrop of water. Made mostly from stone, the buildings have chimneys blowing smoke into the cool day. Several new buildings are being constructed. Stout and sturdy little buildings made for prospering mining town. The shouts of workers echo off the canyon walls, accompanied by the clanging of pickaxes breaking stone. Villagers go about their day, busying themselves with the everyday tasks of simple folk. Many villagers are loading large crates onto wagons. One such crate's lid falls off, and crystals can be seen within, dazzling and multicolored. These crystals seem to populate every building in the town, either in its raw form or as beautiful jewels, handcrafted by the villagers themselves. The crystals come in every color imaginable, gleaming with light from the sun. In front of the largest building, the mayor's house, is a nondescript wagon drawn by 2 horses. Worn by long travels, the wagon is adorned with the mark of Vesper. A worm seen from the side, positioned elegantly, its strength in its chest which is puffed and its wings are laid behind, stretched and posed for action. Its tail is twisted and long. It is a symbol of elegance and age, fit for the ancient order of monster hunters, the Guild of Vesper. Stepping out of the wagon comes our first player, Cecil.
Alright, so, Comet is a very small and fluffy black cat. They have bright green eyes, are kind of constantly scanning the surroundings, assessing the situation for any danger or any useful information. They are wearing a dramatic coat layered in different shades of green, their shoulders armored in feathers. They are not exactly, they don't feel prepared for this, but they needed to be here.
Your character steps out onto this sort of lawn in front of the mayor's house, and next after them is Finn.
Gareth steps out of the carriage and kind of spreads their wings to be resting a little bit over Comet. They are standing at just about 6 feet and 10 inches tall. They have dark black feathers on their back, although most of them are more of a dark gray. There's lighter gray feathers at the tips of their tail and their wings, and their stomach is white. Their eyes scan the house to see if they can find anything of interest.
Cool. And you step out alongside 7 Swords. Sorry.
Comet of the Seventh
Comet
Sword.
of the Seventh Sword. And The next person out is Ben. Fathom.
Yes. A bit behind Comet and Hirith, outsteps this behemoth of a dragonborn, 7.5 feet tall, covered in scars and aged. He's big. He's huge. He's got an iron ring hanging off of his left ear, and his left ring finger is missing. He steps out, and when he does, the wagon he came off of shakes and groans, adjusting after this, I think 170, 200 pound man steps off of it. And he kind of stretches, groans, and just prepares for his day.
Awesome. Next up we have Devin.
So it's 5'7", around 5'7.5", tiefling with ginger hair, bouncy, short shoulder length around there. She adorns a kind of blondish white streak around the frontal part of her hair, probably from stress, from something that happened at some point or other. Her clothes are pretty worn down. They definitely look stolen. It looks like she definitely stole that large purple scarf that she wears around her neck. And she kind of like looks a lot like me. She looks around and she's like, she's tired, and she's also giving the Dragonborn a stink eye for probably crushing her.
Okay.
And Gilbert walks out with like a air of confidence of himself. He's got a constant smirk. He's a human with his hair slicked back and kind of like glancing around to like check his surroundings, and he's just, yeah.
Alright. So Lucida, he kind of walks out a little bit. He's annoyed that he's last, but he flips his hair. It's kind of glowy white hair. It's short. He has pointy ears, wearing some beautiful golden earrings. He has like a purple jacket with his family sigil on one side of the breast. He wears generally kind of darker clothes under that, but he definitely really likes purple. He has kind of like a long tail with a little bit of fur at the end of it, white fur, and he seems to wear kind of fancy-ish clothing, fancy adventuring clothes. His eyes are like a glowing purple. His skin kind of radiance a little bit of a slight rainbow sheen. He has like these kind of star-like freckles. And yeah, that's him.
So, as you know, the six of you have been called together to help out this town with some sort of a monster problem. There was a group sent before by one of the other guilds, but they disappeared. And the mayor of the town contacted the guild again, saying, "Your guys failed, send more." And so the Guild of Vesper came together to draw kind of their best team possible that was available and send them to deal with the problem.
So, are we really the best team?
I do wish they'd given us more information. Which group was it that they sent beforehand? I would like that.
I believe it was Mauvis.
It was the Sect of Mauvis.
Well, you are. I guess we'll see. It's a surprise. They're surprising us. It might not be a great surprise. But
I don't think when you're hunting a monster you want a surprise.
You don't, but we gotta look on the positive.
The Mauvis probably went off and took the money and ditched them.
If they took the darn money, I'm going to be very unhappy.
Oh, shut up, you gold digger.
It would be rather unjust if they took the money and didn't kill the monster.
Now, Mauvis may not be the most trustworthy of people, but they've never done something like that before, so I have reason to believe that that's not going to happen this time.
We are known for being, I would say, more money-oriented, but we still value lives. and we will never do anything of such sort.
Well, shall we go to the mayor and have our debrief?
Right, yes.
Yeah, so before you stands the mayor's house, the largest building in the town, built from wood and hardy stone. The building stands out for its wealth. Glass adorns the windows, which is something unseen in most of the other buildings in the town. Large double oak doors are carved with ornate art depicting the natural world, but most of all, vine patterns bearing fruit. On the door is a large knocker composed of pure gold in the shape of a dragon's head. Its eyes are imprinted with the same crystal you've seen around the town, which is a mesmerizing and beautiful sight. On the roof, a flag stands high and proud, green on the bottom and white on the top, with the emblem of the red dragon. The flag of Wales flies in the wind, a proud symbol of leadership.
I'm just gonna take the one of the knockers in my right hand. I'm just gonna give it a good wham and
You do that. It's pretty loud, actually. And when you do that, the door opens and a short man, human, looking sort of like a servant. He's dressed finely but does not look like one of the upper class. And he answers, "Ah, welcome in. Who might you be?"
we are the hunters you've hired to take care of this monster.
Yes, we've all been summoned from our various sects by the Guild of Vesper.
Ah, so Bovar hired you. Please come in. He's waiting. And as you enter the mayor's home, you are instantly met with the odor of parchment and candle wax inside the house. It is almost as lavish as the outside, with tapestries on the walls of the mayor's of past. And said tapestries are close and they're adorned with gold. Curtains adorn the windows, blocking most of the sunlight from creeping into the house. However, all rooms are lit with candles, casting a cold red glow, which is intensified as it reflects off some of the crystals inside.
I don't know if I trust this.
The servant points to the door on the second level up this very nice staircase and says, "His office is up there."
Thank you, sir.
Gilbert would like to just just start walking up the stairs and
Yeah, of course.
Comet's gonna kind of pull on Hirith's cloak a little bit, or one of Hirith's cloaks, and be like, "I don't exactly trust this. There's entirely too much gold. I'd like to see what the rest of the town looks like before I trust all this elegance."
I agree. I feel like it's kind of doesn't fit with the rest of the scenery. And we've seen a lot of those crystals. And I don't believe I've seen them before.
We also better watch Gilbert.
Yeah, we probably should do that. I mean, the walls do look pretty nice. I mean, they're keeping it nice here. Yes, that is true. Mm-hmm.
It is a very nice house, but it is in a little state of it's unkept. There's dust on everything, and it has seen better days.
I'm gonna follow Gilbert up. We should probably get to work before we begin plotting a revolution of the town.
Yes, that's probably the best idea.
You
So far.
climb the stairs together as a party, I'm guessing.
Yes.
And you get to this large oak door, which opens to reveal a large office space. Before you is a desk, richly carved and yet grim and gray, littered with papers of all sorts. A candle sits on the desk, lighting the room with the same cold reddish light from before. The floor too is littered with papers, which at a glance appear to be letters from people. The walls are lined with bookshelves containing books on anything one could think of. These books share the space with various pieces of ancestry and a few other crystals. A man sits at the desk, around 50 years of age and slightly tight around the belt. He is richly decorated with a golden monocle and wears fine clothes, fit for a man of the richer class. In his eyes is a look of determination, and he wears a stoic face, though some of his features are shadowed with grief and fear.
Gilbert would like to walk up to him and like offer a handshake and be like, "Hello, my name is Gilbert Nickel."
He does shake your hand and says, "Oh, I see after the failure of the last group, the guild sends more. If I was not so desperate, I would not have asked. The last ones nearly sucked me dry of gold."
Sounds like
And
Mauvis.
yet
Yeah.
they left. That is not just.
They never came back.
I assure you, we will be doing a much better job than they had.
Yes, we will.
We are much more spread out than just the Sect of Mauvis this time.
Yeah.
I see. I am Bovar Highmore, mayor of this village.
Really quickly, how is Bovar spelled?
Bovar.
We have not introduced ourselves, except for Gilbert here. I'm, Lucida's gonna bow and say, "Lucida, welcome."
And you sure like being dramatic, don't you?
Oh, it's my strong suit.
Rosalie's gonna just walk up and be like, "Hi, my name's Rosalie. Don't worry about the last name, just hi. Pleasure to meet you."
He shakes your hand.
The name's here. It is quite nice to meet you. I say, well, tilting my head down a bit, looking at.
Comet's going to stare up at him. Greetings. I am Comet of the Seventh Sword, and we will find justice for your town.
Right, I'm Fath, and you've met the rest of them.
I have. Now, what is it you wish to speak about?
We were hoping to get some information about exactly what this creature is.
Yes, we would rather not come into this situation blind.
Without proper briefing, we would surely die.
No, really?
It would be a good idea if we were prepared, you know.
Yes, well, as I told the last group a few weeks ago, I had to close our minds for the second time in my life. Something in their minds has been killing my people, and others in the village have disappeared. I need a solution, and I need it quickly before this town falls into despair once again. I cannot let this mine stay closed forever. If it does, all of our newfound prosperity will be for nothing.
Sorry, you said it the second time? What happened the first time?
Years ago, our town was a site of a very prosperous gold mine. But, years ago, when I first became mayor, the mines dried up. There was no gold left. Most of the people left, and the town has been desolate ever since. But recently, this new crystal has been found in the mine. It is quite an extraordinary resource, and we've been selling it across the land. Or well, we hope to. It's been bringing money back into the town.
I would like to discreetly cast Detect Magic. Comet's asking to see if the crystal has any magical properties.
So when you use Detect Magic, how does that work for your character specifically?
So, since Comet's trying to do it a bit discreetly to, like, not clue in the mayor that, like, they're doing it, their eyes are gonna take on, like, a light bluish sheen, and, I believe Detect Magic makes anything magical glow.
Yeah, real quick, make a stealth check to do this discreetly.
Alright, so... Okay, 12.
So Bovar is sort of, like, he's speaking to you guys, he's not really watching. He does not see you as you cast this magic. And there are some very small chunks of this crystal in this room, and they sort of glow very, very faintly. As if there might be magic to them, but nothing that seems to be catastrophic.
I'm going to ask the mayor. When did you discover these crystals?
It was, not too long ago. Only about less than a year, I would say.
Right, and when has this monster become a problem?
About 3 months ago was when the first disappearance happened.
Right.
How many disappearances have there been?
Well, it's hard to say. Several miners, some townsfolk. I really can't get an exact number. Some people would disappear for other reasons.
Right. Are there any survivors of this beast's attack in this town that we could go talk to, see if they know anything?
Well, the owner of the Forest Inn had an encounter of sorts. Madrelena, or Madridar, I can't remember her name. Something is up with her. She keeps saying things about something. I can't understand a word she rambles about. But I think it has something to do with this creature.
Right.
Well, then we should probably go there at some point.
Yes.
And we can set up accommodations while we're there.
Yes, that sounds like a good idea.
Yes, before we leave, we need to discuss the money problem. And he like puts his briefcase on the counter and he like clicks it open, pulls out a piece of paper.
Deal.
And he shuts it. He like sits at the sign. It's like, how much did the Mauvis get paid?
Well, a lot.
Well,
And they failed.
well, we're better than them. That's why they sent us. So we're gonna.
Your
need-
guild is sending me replacements. I might pay you, but
Might is not a good.
the first group, they were vultures. They took a lot of this town's savings.
If I may.
They didn't do anything to help. Your group, I consider compensation.
If I may, instead of giving paid money, what if we were given free accommodation for our stay here until we defeated the monster? Would that be more to your taste?
That would be acceptable.
Yes, and 100 gold.
Oh my
Gilbert!
Gilbert.
Gilbert is making some good stuff here.
I
You two.
think, considering the fact that the Sect of Mauvis already stole a lot of money from these townspeople, which, rest assured, once we get back to the guild, we will figure out. I don't think they need to pay us until we could get their money back.
Well, we might need money to, eat food.
That's what the
That's what the
accommodations for.
accommodations are for, Gilbert.
But after, when we leave. So
We stay with our sects when we
okay,
leave.
fine.
This is why my dad always said, money is money, you don't touch it.
Money is touch the money. I don't know.
Gilbert.
I'm just going to sigh and say, good sir, I do apologize for our companions. They are rather focused on rewards. We will do further research into this monster problem and shall report results to you.
Yes, there's a few other things I should mention. I suggest talking to a Huel Hammerhound. He was once a miner, but his family recently disappeared right after the last hunter group never returned. You could try to speak to the man, but I doubt he'll be home. Sad story, that one.
Would he be anywhere else other than his home?
Well, he might be begging on the streets. That was the last place I saw him. And Bolvar actually looks sad when he says this. Whatever has befallen this Huel is troubling the man.
Was this person perchance important to you?
All my people are important. I don't want them dying. I need this solved. And Huel is just exceptionally sad case.
Well, we will be sure to do our best in getting rid of your problem.
Yes. We've also had some thieving problems. If you want, you can talk about that with the tavern owner. Frederick is his name. I don't know if it relates, but it might.
Gilbert's kind of gonna still like push the contract forward to say like and like cross out any money part, but just basically say like, we just don't want to be. I don't want to be betrayed. I don't know about these people, but and just pushes it forward. To
Yes. And he takes out this like feather pen and signs the contract. He says, "Still, if it happens that you kill this monster, we can talk about payment. But I will never pay anyone else before task is done."
Right, that's probably a good idea. Fathin's gonna like clap his hands together. Right, let's get to work.
Oh,
Yes.
one last thing. I have a man to take you to the mines. However, he is out of town at the moment, and he will find you when he gets back. His name is Dorian.
How do you spell that? Dory?
Dorian.
Oh. Okay, like the hurt.
Dorian.
He's gonna Gilbert's just gonna like nod and kind of be like a, and then just start heading down the stairs.
Thank you. We'll be on our way now. Goodbye.
He sort of nods as you leave, and after the last of you leaves the office, he closes the door. And you guys are back in sort of the hallway of the mayor's house.
I would say that is a man who has been betrayed by his past one too many times. We best figure this out before this town gets harmed even more.
I agree with you, Colin.
Sad man. Shall we talk to the owner of the Forest Inn?
Yes.
Yes, that's a good idea.
Head there.
And off we go.
We head down there.
You guys exit the mayor's house. The servant who originally led you in kind of nods, opens the door for you as you guys exit. And so you guys are going to go to the Forest Inn.
Yeah. Care to describe the insides, like the area?
Second, I have to pull up. So you guys walk through this town, and you can see it is not quite prospering, but it looks like they're coming out of some sort of recession. The villagers are all walking around, buying, selling, doing chores, and all around you see people are loading up these wagons full of this crystal. And this crystal comes in all sorts of colors and seems to be, like I said earlier, everywhere in this village.
I really don't trust these crystals.
Is there any town person we can talk to, like a merchant of the crystal, that we can gather more information?
No one in particular seems to be selling it. There's just a bunch of townsfolk loading it.
Can I just walk up to any of the people like loading it and like just say like, "Hello, do you know anything about these crystals?"
Yes, you walk up to one of the. There's this kind of big human guy. He looks like one of possibly a miner who's loading these crates into the back of this wagon. He says, "Oh, who are you?"
I am Gilbert. I have been hired to, take care of the monster problem.
Monster problem? What are you talking about?
Oh,
You talking about the accidents in the mine?
Yes.
I don't think it's a monster, but
Yes. No monsters to be seen. I don't think it's a monster problem either. We're just kind of hired here. But can I snag a crystal for you? I can make it worth your while.
Oh, of course.
And
he takes one out and he hands it to you. He says, "You're doing work for the mayor. You can have it for free."
Thank you. And he walks over to the group, or if the group is over with me.
Yeah, you walk back. Real quick, when you have this crystal in your hand, I want you to make just a real quick Constitution save.
That is a 5.
This crystal is immensely beautiful to you. You just get this feeling that, like, you just want to stare at it a bit, like, you want to keep it on you.
Yeah, so Gilbert's just gonna walk over to the group, and he's gonna kind of slightly put it in his pocket, and he's like, "Don, really good snagglers," I'm gonna call him, I don't know. He just puts the crystal in his pocket, and he's like, "I tried asking for a crystal, and he didn't give it to me."
What was that look in your pocket?
They're making an investigation check on it.
Anybody who wants to, you make a perception check to see if you notice.
Perception?
And Gilbert, make a stealth or sleight of hand.
13.
22.
10.
13.
Wait, so the sleight of hand, that's a 12.
So anybody who got higher than 12, please, just...
What if I got a 12?
I'm going to say anybody who got above a 12.
Okay.
The two of you see Gilbert quickly, shove this crystal, in his pocket, pretty stealthily, but you notice it as he does it.
Gilbert, we know you have the crystal.
Yes. Gilbert, take it out of your pocket.
I don't have a crystal.
Gilbert.
At least tell us whether or not you stole this from him.
I did not steal it from him. He
Then
gave
why
it
are
to
you
me.
hiding it?
Well, because
If he
it's
gave it to
pretty.
you, if he gave it to you, you know none of us would take it from you.
Okay, fine. You can look at it. And he kind of just holds
Thank
it
you.
out for you guys to look at.
It's ugly.
Are you quite alright, Gilbert? You're not normally this secretive, even with your lust for gold.
I like gold, but I like flaunting it. And he's like, well, I just like it. I don't want anyone to have it. It's special to me, I guess. I don't know. I've never felt this before.
Gilbert, that's called hoarding.
It's just this one thing. And he just likes...
We can trust Gilbert. Don't worry. Whatever he did, I bet it's for the best, for the highest good, for the party.
He's acting like a feral cat when there's a bunch of mice nearby.
It's okay. We like that. Well, I like that about
it.
him.
Cats.
Not that kind of cat.
He just kind of slides back in the pocket and is like, it doesn't matter. They're everywhere. You can grab your own, and starts walking into the inn.
I also follow him towards the end.
I think this is gonna be one.
So you guys approach this slightly run-down inn. It has seen better days. It is a large building with an iron fence around it, and a sign on top of the gate saying, "Welcome to Forest Inn." Upon entering the sort of courtyard, you see a bunch of deer eating the grass and paying you no mind. Moving the moss-curtained door, you open it and you see a young half-elf lady standing at the desk. She looks distant.
Can I approach her and be like, "Hi there. We're one of the little friends hired from the guild to help with the disappearances. Do you know anything about that?"
For a second, she just sort of keeps kind of staring off into space a little bit, but then turns to you and says, "Oh, hello there. I didn't see you come in."
It's hard when you got a giant boulder of a dragonborn in the way, but yes, I understand. Do you know anything about these appearances? We're hired by the Guild of Vesper to help out with that.
Oh, the scared people.
Sure.
Miss, are you quite alright? What's your name, ma'am?
Medeldra.
I'm gonna just get straight to the point. Ma'am, the mayor said you have been talking about seeing some beast creature around.
Oh, that. I was off in the forest one day, and it was dark. I think it's still dark. The rocks scare me.
The crystals?
And she just pauses for a moment and then turns to you and says, "It's never safe here. I can't stop hearing them. The lost ones. They scare me."
Gilbert, put your rock away.
I think Gilbert's gonna do
Gilbert,
the
put the rock
opposite.
outside.
Gilbert's gonna pull out the rock and be like, "What does this make me feel?"
Gilbert. Good idea, Gilbert.
They stare at it for like a good 30 seconds before responding. "Before you sleep, barricade the door, lock the window,
Okay, put it away.
cover the holes in the walls. You never know what might happen." And she smiles at you and says,
Right, that's not
You-
the plan.
"Sorry, what were we talking about?"
You don't seem all there.
Yes.
I would disagree with that. I feel like everything is good, I think.
You just told us to barricade the door while we sleep. That's not something a normal person who is happy and dandy would say. That's something my dad would say.
Oh, did I? I'm sorry. I can't remember that.
Ma'am, we were hired by the Guild of Vesper to investigate the disappearances. The mayor said that you might provide accommodations.
Oh, yes, of course. Take a room. I assume the mayor is paying for this.
Yes.
Gilbert's gonna like walk up to her and be like, did you see a monster in the woods? Did I get that right?"
I don't remember. I think there was someone there, but it's like a distant memory.
Did you hit your head when you were running away or something?
Don't be mean.
I'm just saying.
It's all shrouded. I cannot remember.
I don't think this woman is going to be very much helpful to us.
I agree. I don't know why they let her to run the.
Gilbert, be nice.
Gilbert.
She's not gonna remember it anyways.
We should we should get provisions and sleep and all that good stuff right now.
It seems to me
What
that
is the time currently? Sorry.
At the town,
Yeah.
it's about midday. You've plenty of time to go.
it seems to me that Medoldra only seems to forget what she says about her encounter.
I'm gonna walk up to her. What did I just say?
You were saying something about my job?
Yeah, she like just kind of looks over towards you and just kind of smirks. Be like, I don't think that's accurate.
You were further away from her, so she might not have heard everything, and you were backtalking her.
Okay, and he goes up to his. I guess I don't know. He just stands there, kind of smirking to himself.
Little like 14, 19.
Shut up.
Yeah, Comet's ears are kind of flattened to the back of their head because she's not happy.
Yeah.
There are next to the desk this sort of rack of keys, and everything in this place is like natural occurring, like almost like a druid built this in.
Right, you said there were deer in here. Are they like
There's
domesticated? or are they
deer
just
outside.
wandering? Oh, right.
They're like the deer we see in the college. They just don't care.
Well, you have a lovely place.
Yes. Thank you.
Who should we speak to next?
I think a good one could be Frederick.
Yeah.
Yes, attempt to find him. Mayor Bovar did say that he might be on the streets somewhere.
Frederick was the tavern owner.
Hammer
Was
was
he?
the probably.
Yeah.
Hammer hand?
Hammerhand was the
Hammerhand.
guy who's...
Huel.
Well.
Well.
Hywel.
Well. Shall we look for the little Hammerhand?
Might as well.
Yeah. It's the next festival.
It is unfortunate that Bavar did not have a more educated guess as to which street Huel might be at.
Yeah.
I'm sure we
Seems
can
under
find
a
it.
lot of stress lately. I feel like we should give him a pass.
I think everyone here is under stress.
Yes.
Yes, this town is giving me an uneasy feeling, especially with how secretive Gilbert was about that crystal.
Yes,
Gilbert.
I don't trust it.
I don't know. The secret's just really pretty. Like, the rock's very pretty. So you're not even coming up with proper sentences because of that stupid rock.
Your mind is deteriorating.
Rocks are cool, man.
It's probably the dementia.
Let's stay on task. We're looking for
I'm not that lady over there.
All right, let's keep going.
I suppose, can we roll an investigation check for looking for this?
Yeah, go ahead.
Investigation.
Ooh, that ain't good. 2.
7.
19.
11.
11. Highest we have right now is 19.
20.
That's
22.
22 also.
so. The right side of the table, all rolled really well.
My dice hate me.
You guys kind of lead the party through this town, through kind of all these bustling villages, and you do, or villagers, sorry, and you find on the street in the town sits this very rundown shack. Its shutters are boarded up, and signs of rot have infected the walls, making it look as if it will fall down at any moment. The home gives off a feeling of sadness, and the townsfolk avoid looking at it, as if it is challenging this newfound prosperity. And down the street, about 50 feet, you see a old dwarf who is sort of like feeling around with his hands in the air and does not look like he knows where he is.
Are you lost, buddy?
Oh. Oh. Who are you? I can't see.
Do you need help getting somewhere?
And as you guys approach, you're approaching this guy.
Yes.
This old dwarf, you see that like his clothes are very rugged and worn, like that of a beggar. And his hands look worn from years of hard labor. But the distinctive feature of this man is his eyes look like they were like slashed out. And the wounds have healed, but this man is blind.
Sir, are you okay?
Oh. Can you speak up? Sorry,
Do you need help getting somewhere? Are you looking for something?
Oh, darkness, I can't see. I'm trying to find them.
Comet's going to go up to the dwarf and touch his arm and be like, "Hello, sir. I am Comet of the Seventh Sword. I was hired by the Guild of Vesper along with my companions. Are you all right? You seem to have had an encounter with something."
Oh, I don't know. I'm. Can you help me find them?
Find who?
My family. I can't remember where they are.
Where were you last with them?
Oh, my home. I think it's around here. People keep telling me I'm close. Can you help me find it?
Yeah.
Comet's gonna like guide him to the door and like put his hand on the door.
Yeah, you do that, and he puts his hand on this door and says, "Oh, might need some work."
Yes, it does.
And he opens it. He finds the handle and he opens the door. And inside, this place is even more rundown. It is covered in cobwebs and looks like nobody has lived here for months.
Just gonna look around. Cozy.
Be nice.
This man.
Comet would like to, well, I would like to cast prestidigitation to attempt to get some of the cobwebs out of the air.
So what does prestidigitation do?
I think it may be. This is not what I brought. Look.
Nobody talks about how you're walking around like a big boulder.
I was being serious. This is a very nice place. I'd love to sleep there.
You've got very low standards.
Gilbert, shut up.
Gilbert, how dare you speak to me like that?
Prestidigitation. This spell is a minor magical trick that novice spellcasters use for practice. Okay, yeah, they're gonna try and clean a cubic foot of space.
Yeah, you can do that, and you sort of cast a spell, and some of the spiderwebs sort of disintegrate, and some of the dust clears off, but it's still in horrible disrepair. In fact, you see there's some mold growing in the corner.
You really cleaned this place up. It looks so much nicer than before.
Well, pardon me if it is a minor trick to help out. I merely wanted to provide some assistance.
I was giving you a compliment. People can never tell when I'm being sarcastic.
What kind of mold is it?
Just ordinary mold.
Oh,
not
kind of
eat
like
the
mold.
mold.
I think either way, Gilbert's just gonna put his little coat thing over his mouth and kind of have glance around at the room in despair and have a grossed out
And
face, I guess.
this old dwarf kind of blindly trying to find his way, goes and says, "Oh, Agatha, Charles, are you in here?"
Sir, I don't belong here.
"Oh, but this is where I last saw them."
You went and saw them in your house?
"Yes."
Can you tell me your last memory you have with your family?
I was a few months ago. People were in town. They went off to the mines, I think. I was with Agatha and Charles. We were having dinner around dusk. I can't remember. I just remember I woke up on the streets. I was blind, and I have to find them.
We will help you find them, sir. Yes. But unfortunately, I do not think you are in any state to go searching for them on your own.
I agree with my companion.
We'll happily help you find your family. Just how about you take a rest from your long searching?
Oh, thank you so much. And he walks over and finds a chair and sits down in it, and he just sort of crosses his arms and just sort of sits there, and you can tell he is maybe not physically showing it, but upset.
Can I walk up and be like, have you seen any monsters recently?
He can't see.
Well, maybe he saw them and then it flashed out his eyes.
Just that you didn't remember.
As much as
Well, maybe he might remember. I don't.
You do ask him this, right? And he goes, "Monster, do you think something happened? I don't remember."
Not at all. Not at all. And he whispers to somebody else.
Shut up!
And then, yeah. He's just gonna be like, nothing happened. They are okay.
Oh, thank God.
I swear to God, if I wasn't one of your co-workers, I would turn you into one.
Well, yes.
Yeah.
Good sir, will you be needing anything of us? Perhaps some food, water?
No, I can. The townsfolk provide for me. I will be good.
Alright. We will come back as soon as we have any updates about your family. We are currently
conducting our preliminary investigations.
And yeah, he just sits in the chair. You can tell he's extremely tired.
We should get a blanket for that man.
I agree.
Yeah, and I'm gonna be like, well, we wish you the best. We'll be going to look for your family, and I'll walk out.
I'll follow Gilbert as well.
Yeah. Comet's gonna hop on Herod's shoulder, and as they're heading out.
Yeah, you guys exit this old house, which it has seen better days. Like, as you close the door, like, one of, like, the hinges breaks. It is in very, very bad disrepair.
Blame the boulder.
Right, who was next on the list to talk to? The tavern people. What was
Yes,
their name?
Frederick.
Frederick. About the thieving issues and such.
Yes. We never got the tavern name from the mayor.
Oh, I'm sure anywhere where there's loud music and people fighting, we'll find a tavern.
Yes, that does sound about right. Comet's gonna. Are there any townsfolk nearby?
Yes, but they seem to be kind of avoiding this house, like, but not in, like, a bad way. Like, you see people look at it and, like, they don't like being next to it, and, like, you see a woman walks by and she, like, does this sort of, like, religious, like, hand thing, you know, kind of like to bless the house as she walks by.
You know, it just occurred to me, what if the roof caves in on this guy tonight?
How about we don't think about that?
It'll be fine.
No, he'd never kill our favorite NPC, right?
Comet's going to call out to the woman and be like, "Hello, ma'am. We are conducting an investigation. Would you happen to know where the tavern is?"
Oh, yes. Denner's. It is just around the corner.
Thank you.
And she continues walking.
I wonder if they got sweet tea. I like sweet tea.
It is quite nice.
We did get our answer.
Shut up, Gilbert.
Alright, let's make our way.
Gonna make our way down.
Yeah.
Yes, you guys go around the corner, and Denner's is pretty easy to spot. It is a very large building. It is a large tavern, decorated very lavishly in bright colors, although it has seen better days just like the rest of this town. On top of it, it has this sort of snake carved from wood spanning around the roof. And it is a very beautiful building. Inside, you can hear the slight noises of talk and drinks being served.
Alright, I'm gonna just pull up every single Western movie ever. I'm just gonna, like, swing open the doors and take a few steps in.
As you enter the tavern, the candlelit walls fill you with whimsy, but the dwindling supplies in this area, this place has clearly seen better times in years past. The gold-plated and adorned walls glimmer in the dim light. Behind the counter sits a wall of, like, liquor barrels. And sitting at this sort of bar area is Frederick. Frederick is a tall, sort of half-snake humanoid.
That must be your cousin.
Sorry.
There's a difference between dragons, lizards, and snakes.
He wears sort of this coat over
Pretty sure fish are also lizards.
everything, and like he has very like dark green and red scales, and a pair of glasses sits on his face. He's right now reading from a book, and you see like he raises one of his hands, and he sort of like uses this weird magic. You see this like filling a drink. One of the many things that appears to be done by magic around here.
Comet's gonna hop down off of Hirith's shoulder and approach who I assume to be Frederick. And sorry.
Hello, I'm Comet of the Seventh Sword with the Guild of Vesper. I'm here because Mayor Bovar said you might have information surrounding the disappearances.
He looks up from his book.
Oh, questions. And who are you again?
I am Comet of the Seventh Sword. I am from the Sect of Orphic from the Guild of Vesper.
Ah, monster hunters.
Yes.
Well, what can I do for you?
Answer some questions, really. That's all we need right now.
Regarding the disappearances.
Right.
If you have teeth, that would be lovely as
Sweet tea.
Yes, I also would like a tea.
He flicks his wrist and says, "Of course." And as he flicks his wrist, several glasses come down from the shelves and start filling themselves with magic. And he slides them over to you and says,
So, what are your questions?
The mayor said you've been experiencing thieves.
Ah, yes. Last night it was. Some ruffians broke in, stole the Griziel, you might know them, the crystals around. I've been stocking up on it, and it made me quite angry. It was quite an investment that was stolen. But unfortunately, they escaped before I could get a good look at them. But they did run into the woods over there.
How is Griziel spelled?
Gristal.
And can I is there anything generally valuable on the table? On the counter?
No.
Okay. Well, never mind.
But this place is richly decorated for an establishment.
Okay, so is there anything just generally that's worth wealth that maybe the tavern owner would know and would think is valuable that I could?
I mean, I would just say most of the furnishings in this place have gold or other metals sort of integrated with them. A lot of just expensive stuff, but nothing in particular
That you would find of interest.
Everything is sort of built into the establishment.
He's going to be well, do you know what they look like?
Unfortunately, not. But I do hope that if you investigate this, you find them. And if you do, please return my stolen property.
Gilbert showed them
It's bad for business not to have a good backup plan.
Sir Frederick, are you aware, or do you have any knowledge surrounding the disappearances around town?
Not much, honestly. Although, I have heard of a few break-ins at the Forest Inn. The owner there is not quite up to the job.
That's what I'm saying.
Gilbert,
Shut up! Yes, but you said it in front of her.
Well, she won't remember. I told you that she won't remember.
Gilbert, it is still rude.
There is a principle when dealing with people.
I have to add. I mean, that was slightly rude.
If my dad heard you talking to a lady like that, he would have torn you a new one.
Is your dad here, really?
We don't talk about my dad.
Who you just talked about?
Gilbert, I think she's fixing to put a hole in you.
That would be not helpful, though.
It seems a lot of these occurrences with the Forest Inn and dinners seems to stem from the forest.
Ah, yes. I would advise staying away from the forest. Bandits have become a problem lately.
The forest or the forest?
They came in here sometimes, causing a ruckus. I won't let them in again, though, after I stole my property. Bloody shame.
why do you like those crystals so much?
Well, they're quite valuable. And with the mine already shutting down, I decided to grab some as an investment.
Do you know how they're nice to have?
Yes, what
They
is
make
so
you
special?
look.
Gilbert, shut up.
Well, besides being extremely pretty and easy to sell to anyone, they do have some useful properties.
Like?
Well, I'm trying to remember. The blacksmith told me when he sold them to me. Something about them being able to be forged and such. Quite marvelous to work with, really, is what he said.
And this blacksmith, would he have more information about their properties?
Possibly, Sure. I mean, you can go talk to him, but probably try to sell you some, just to let you know.
He's a very money-oriented guy. We
Oh,
know
the
that
type.
well.
I would, thank you. I'll make a good friend then.
I'm surprised you can't find us.
Oh, really?
I think we should head that way then.
Yes,
Before
I
we finish
agree.
here.
Yes. Would you happen to have directions to this blacksmith? Directed at Frederick.
Well, it's not too far from here. If you go towards the docks, you'll find it.
Let's
Let's
go
go.
do that.
Yeah, well, vamonos. Off we go.
Andale, andale.
Andale, andale.
Yes.
I don't like this crystal one bit. I don't
Yeah,
like it.
me neither.
It's bad
really
vibes.
like
I think it has
I'm
some
sure
type.
you do, Gilbert.
It could be good.
I think it might pose useful.
Don't listen to Gilbert.
I mean, you want to touch it, and he never.
I'm not
and
touching
he
it.
puts it back into his pocket.
Weren't you the one who was telling us not to touch it? You didn't want us to steal it.
Yes, that's why I changed my mind. It's just when I touched it again, it made me feel very happy.
Right.
I think
I
think that crystal is doing something to your mind, Gilbert. I don't think the crystal is
Pretty.
I don't think the crystal has good intentions upon you.
It's got very good intentions because it's pretty.
You see that that's
You're
quite
like
a
a
change of view
crow.
from just a minute ago.
Well, I saw everybody else was thinking that, so
What he's gonna do is gonna grab his briefcase and just open it up and just plop the crystal in there and close it up and just like
You know-
can not have it.
we
I don't want
we
it.
don't want it, Gilbert. Maybe I want it.
Oh my god,
See that.
see that.
Okay.
Don't end up like Gilbert.
End up like me, I'm very cool and good, you know?
You are not cool.
Wealth does not dictate how one views you.
Well, it dictates respect in the higher class.
Wealth does
Balance.
not a hero make.
Well, maybe when you have a lot of money, it'll change your mind.
Money cannot buy the world. I learned that the hard way in
But
political circles.
But it can buy happiness. That's what
It
I think.
can't.
It cannot. It can contribute to happiness, but it cannot buy it fully.
My father told me that money can buy happiness.
Your
He
father's
knows.
stupid.
No, I don't think he is.
You
Right,
all
before
remember
we-
having fathers? Yeah, that's something I don't get either.
I think before we kill each other, we should figure this monster problem out.
Yes,
Of course.
Yes.
We all are in this together after all.
To the fun blacksmith.
You guys again walk through the town, hustle and bustle around you, and you make it to the blacksmith's. It is pretty ordinary looking blacksmith's. It is made out of stone like most of the rest of these buildings, and you can see out front is a large smith sort of fireplace. And sort of pumping the bellows is the blacksmith. A sort of half elf in her mid-40s with a peg leg. She has dark brown hair and tan skin. Her hair is usually put on top so it doesn't catch fire. Her clothing is simple, consisting of a leather boots and gloves, and a pair of loose pants and a sleeveless shirt.
Comet's gonna lead the charge again. Greetings, madam. I am Comet of the Seventh Sword. I was told you had more information about these crystals we've been seeing around.
She looks up from her work, smiles at you, says, "Oh, really? Well, of course. First, would you like to come inside?"
Of course.
And they open the door, and inside there are just blacksmith's wares everywhere. Hammers, tools, even a few suits of, not like plate armor, but armor that have been made by this blacksmith. So, the crystals, right. And she walks over, and there's this entire shelf decorated with hundreds of these crystals in different sizes and different colors. She pulls one off the shelf and says, "Well, they're quite extraordinary, really. I was actually able to melt one down, and you can forge them, and they shatter, and they have properties of both crystal and metal."
That is quite an alchemical discovery.
And they walk over and they pull this kind of like golden chain pendant with one of the crystals in it, and they say, "I made this earlier. Would any of you be interested in perhaps buying?"
Yes.
No, Gilbert, you already have one.
I would like to purchase it so we can study it more.
And the mayor said he'd pay for it, so.
Yes.
This is not an accommodation. This is a piece of jewelry. Speaking of which, how much is the jewelry?
This isn't.
Oh, well, 50 gold pieces.
Oh, hey,
God.
I will do. How about 30?
Do you have any armor that I could perchance?
So first, you're trying to barter. Roll a persuasion check.
Come on, Gilbert, you can do it.
But do we want him to be doing
That
it?
is 20 on that.
They kind of scratch their chin and go, "Well, 30.
30? I'll go for 30. And he...
How do you even have that much gold? That's an astronomical amount.
He's been saving up for a while. I'm genuinely not surprised. He's like a dragon with his
This is
boar.
worse than my dad's amethyst collection.
I respect...
I'm right here.
I respect
That's a
people.
dragon, not dragon boar.
He's gonna reach out and like give them the
Yeah.
30
You guys
gold
do the
pieces.
transaction, and
And
the blacksmith puts the gold in sort of this pouch they have. You go, "Ah, by the way, my name's Mari.
Mari,
Great
nice
to meet you."
It's great to meet new customers. Almost everybody in the town has bought my wares, so get a little less business than I have been."
Oh, Mari, you would be well acquainted with the mines then, since they've been mining this crystal.
Well, I haven't gone into the mines, but I do know several of the miners.
Would you know anyone who has disappeared in these mines?
And when you say that, they kind of look around, they shut the door, and they go, "Look, it's a touchy subject. The mayor, a few months back, had to close the mines. There was, we're pretty sure was an accident. A few miners lost their lives, and ever since then, the mines have been closed. And it's been extremely hard to get new Grizzle.
Well, hopefully we will
thing's
be.
called?
Yes.
Does it have any magical properties?
I don't believe so.
That is odd. I noticed that they give off a magical aura.
That is quite interesting. I just am not a practitioner of magic myself.
How about we don't tell the people that are obsessed with it what it does? It might make it worse.
I would like
I
to
have to go crazy on this phone.
maybe to get off the touchy subject. Do you have any armor perchance that I could purchase?
Bill around saying, "Oh yes, of course. I do have this very finely made chainmail," and they pull out this like chain shirt that is really well made. I said, "This would be about 50 gold pieces," and they pull out this other off the shelf, this kind of finely made breastplate with the sort of flag of Wales engraved on the chest. Like you say, "This is one of my greatest pieces. It would be worth a bit more, though."
I said,
With your chainmail, would you be able to bargain for a little less?
Possibly.
Okay.
What are you thinking?
Like 25 gold?
Roll persuasion.
Wait, this is my persuasion. Okay, so 17.
They seem to be thinking about it for a little bit and then go, "How about 30?
I'll just ask my father for more money. It's okay, guys.
You still talk to your dad?
Yeah, he gives me money every now and then.
I don't talk to mine.
Sure, I'll buy it.
Yeah, they will give you that, if you're using D&D Beyond, you can look up chain shirt.
Okay. I do apologize for having to bring back this touchy subject, but we were sent with the Guild of Vesper to investigate these disappearances. Would you say that the accident is what stemmed the cause of these disappearances?
Well, I mean, the first accident was about a week before other people started vanishing, but honestly, I wouldn't put it past people to just up and leave. The mines are closed down. This place isn't going to last much longer.
Do you know, May Chance, what happened to Mr. Hammerhand? He does seem a little battered down, and you're within town, so.
Oh, yes, or the innkeeper.
Yes.
Hammerhand was a friend of mine, one of the miners. It's a very sad story. None of us really know what truly happened, but one night we found him out on the streets. He was blind. His eyes had been slashed out, and he kept saying he was looking for his family, and we couldn't find them, and I'm afraid he's gone a tad bit crazy.
I think most people in this town have gone crazy.
That's just disrespect in different ways. You are one to say that guilt talk.
And what about,
what's up with you?
what about the innkeeper? I do believe her name was, Madildra.
Oh, yes, Madildra. That was a weirder story. She came out of the woods one day, a piece of grizzle in one hand, and she just wasn't the same. If you've met her, you've noticed she has some strangeness and can't remember a damn thing.
I'm not locking this out with this
She
crystal.
touched this stupid.
Is it medium armor or?
Yes.
Okay. I don't want this to look. I'm not sure how I feel about Gilbert being in possession of some.
Yes, and when we brought up the rock to Madildra, she did say to barricade the doors at night, to barricade the windows.
Yeah.
It probably relates to
Whatever
what
this
Frederick
creature-
was saying.
Whatever
it's
this
related
creature
to
is,
the
it seems
monster.
to be stemming a lot of these attacks and disappearances of varying causes.
But I'm inclined to believe him because they had the crystals like the mayor said a year ago, but the disappearances only started like a couple months ago.
I feel like this crystal is definitely involved in it somehow. And it does definitely discomfort me that you are bringing it around with it.
Yes.
Get rid of it.
Point of clarification, the mayor did say under a year.
Under your
Gilbert, I know quite crystal. But what if you sold it for more than you bought it for, and then you'd still be making a profit and you wouldn't have to worry about the rock?
That's a good idea. You could sell it to the blacksmith.
And I do think
Well, you
that.
can't just sell the blacksmith their own piece of tool.
Yes,
It
and I
wasn't
do
his.
think, weren't you given your initial rock free of charge? You could make good coin off of that.
Yes. Well,
I feel like we should have something to study this crystal's
That's what I'm
effects.
saying. I would like.
true.
I
I would
also
like
think
to
we should
research-
definitely keep it out of Gilbert's hands.
I would like to research it. I am the one who makes the things.
What if we made a deal, Gilbert?
Yes, we research for you. You are the maker, yet we are from the sect well known of researchers.
Researchers, but do you research mechanical metal? And I have been trained to research metal and magic, the two things that this crystal possesses.
Here's my idea for a deal. You can research it, you let us help, and in return, you can keep the smaller one, but you sell the bigger chunk.
I want a bigger chunk to research because this is jewelry, and the other one is for research. And that's final. And he puts it in his briefcase and shuts it off and is like.
I do think we should get rid of at least one because it seems to me that these Griseal seem to draw unwanted attention. I wouldn't want us to be attacked unnecessarily.
Yes.
I think we should grab this bull by the horns and collect a bunch of it to see if whatever this disappearance is causing will come to us.
Or we could just use Gilbert as bait.
Yes,
I would not appreciate that.
Okay, we won't do that. I'm sorry.
Don't lie to him.
We are not sacrificing any party members, so we are supposed to ensure there are no more disappearances.
It's not sacrificing if he doesn't get caught. It's
It is
just
not
It's a fair
just
hunt.
to use your companions as bait.
Bait is not.
You guys have used me for bait hundreds of times.
well, you're a boulder. There's no point in.
I knew someone who used their brother as bait to kill a sea monster.
And how'd that go?
It actually went surprisingly well.
It is not just. We are supposed to work together. I do not want to do an injustice to one of our companions.
It's not injustice if he's asking for it.
I am not asking for it. I said no such thing.
I agree that we should not be sacrificing any of our party members. Thank you, Bill. If anything, it will make our party weaker.
I agree. And he just starts like, well, where to next?
It seems we have exhausted our list of resources for who we can go to until this Dorian gets back to guide us to the mines.
Should we get some rest while we wait?
Yes, we should. I do think we should go back to Medeldra.
Yes. Good idea.
Get some food. Gilbert, do not be rude.
What? I did nothing.
I don't think anything but rude is in this
You
man's
should
mind.
know that I have eyes in the back of my head.
Do you really?
That is quite weird. You should get that checked out.
That does seem unnatural.
Have none of you heard of a saying? I am saying I am extremely perceptive.
Oh, I thought you meant literally.
Yes, me too.
You're no fun.
Geniuses love us.
That would have been really cool, though.
It'd be very helpful.
You quit a bird brain.
Do not speak to my friend that way. It is unjust.
Aren't you like a cat?
Everything is enough.
We are a very, very, very collected team. We don't ever attack each other. So what is that? We're heading to the tavern? Not the tavern, the inn.
The tavern.
To the end.
Adam.
As you guys sort of leave the blacksmiths, Mari waves you goodbye, very friendly.
She's very kind.
And as you exit, you hear this discharge, like not an explosion, but like a very loud crack.
I'm just
And you see, you hear this from this nearby like tent structure. You see some smoke billows out of it, and you hear, "Oh darn, not again!"
I'm going to
I'm
like
going-
not even
Yeah, I'm
thinking
going
about the
to
party. I'm just gonna
investigate.
rush in.
Uh-huh. Me too.
Off we go.
Yes. I will also join.
Yeah, give me a second. This tent from the outside does not look very like much, but you can see inside lots of alchemy supplies and a bunch of wooden barrels.
Sir,
There's also a slight fire on this table in there, and a man stands over it.
sir,
He's quite smiley and friendly looking. He has a large grin even as he's like bashing down this fire. And he's kind of a bigger guy. And he goes, "Ah, not again!
sir.
Oh, well,
Are you
at least it
okay?
worked."
Are you okay?
He looks over at you and says, "Oh, yes, tip-top shape."
So that was quite a loud noise that came from your tent. Are you sure you're all right?
Oh, yes, I was just testing this. And he pulls out a weapon that you've seen very, very rarely, and is sort of a new emerging technology. It is as you would call it, a flintlock pistol. The end of it has sort of like been busted out and looks like it's very damaged from being shot. And he sort of waves it around and puts it on the table and says, "I'm a new emerging gunsmith."
Gunsmith, you say? I'm one myself, and he pulls out his
You would put it
flintlock.
away.
No, I'm trying to show him my
Honestly,
flintlock.
I
your
think
wealth, putting a target on us.
I think that it could
You're
be
also
better.
in the business.
I'm not in the business per se, as I make it myself. And it's like, and I can see what you've done there wrong, and can I like see if there's anything wrong?
Yeah, roll, say, investigation or... Yeah, investigation would work.
Okay. That is a 13.
So with a 13, and you have slight history with this, you kind of look it over and you see that there's like, you know, like some like there's a problem. I don't know enough about guns to do the specifics here, but there was a problem with like how the barrel was made that caused it to kind of deform when shot.
I'm going to be like, well, if you see that, there's some weak spots in the metal that causes it to explode when you...
Aye. Yes. I have to work on that, I guess. But I do have some functioning items.
Perhaps the quality of your materials is impacting your work. You might want to find a better source.
Oh, I'm just getting metal and other supplies from the town. It's no real big deal, really. I am not the greatest smith ever.
Yeah, how much for these hand cannons, if you will?
No, I will say, not cheap. Extremely difficult to make.
We have already spent a lot of coin. I do not know if our budget will allow us.
Garrett, please.
I'll see. Let me,
Well, for one of these, he pulls another flintlock pistol off the sort of this rack. He says, functioning, obviously. For one of these, it would be 200 gold.
We will be back later.
Yeah. I can make it with like 20.
I highly doubt that, but he puts it back. I do also
think the party
sell
would like to go
ammunition and powder, if you guys want any.
I'm sorry, I don't have the funds.
I do think ammunition would be in your best interest, Gilbert. But however, I do not think our budget will allow us to purchase any guns. I do apologize, Rosie.
We can get you a bow and arrow. That would make
I
you
don't
feel
want to
better.
do a bow and arrow.
Yeah.
These days.
No one ever told me how dealing with teenagers would go.
Gilbert's gonna grab one of his flintlocks and he's gonna like take out all of like the dangerous bits in it. It's like, here you go. For one day, for just a little bit.
So he hands you a completely non-functional one, but
I'm gonna call it Dolly, and it's gonna be my best friend.
Okay. Well,
and you have no idea how it works. Like, you could probably guess maybe some of the functioning of this, but like I said, it's very emerging technology. Besides Gilbert, I do not believe any of you have any experience with such things.
Do I hit people with it?
Sure.
no.
I mean, you can.
You can point it at people and just
say pew pew. Pew pew.
Yay!
Immediately to me.
Good job, Rosie. Good job.
I suppose, is this what parenting is like?
No, parenting is usually a lot
Yeah,
more
I've never really experienced
not
that,
involving
So,
stakes of explosion.
And he's gonna be like, well,
explosive current then.
I would like to purchase some gunpowder and a couple bullets.
Period.
Yes, of course. He digs around in this bag and he pulls out, are you familiar with powder horn?
No.
It's a method of storing black powder used in...
Oh, yeah, I know, yeah.
He puts one of those on the table and also drakes out this bag full of musket balls, basically. And he says, well, musket balls are fairly cheap to make. I'll give you these 10 for a gold piece, and powder is much more expensive. It must be refined from very specific locations around here. But I'll give you the entire horn for 35.
35. I can't afford that.
See, this is why you sell the jewelry.
Well, the jewelry is quite pretty, and this is just gunpowder.
Does that jewelry even have any use? Why did you purchase it if it has no use?
All jewelry doesn't have much of a use. It's just pretty.
It has use if it has properties that enhance your skills.
It might. We have no idea what this thing does.
Yes, that's why we're trying to research it. And then he's gonna go, well, I'll take the musket balls, but I'm gonna have to leave the horn.
Very well.
Yeah, he's gonna grab
Yeah.
the...
And you can just write that down. I do not know if that is in D&D Beyond, but it might. Actually, I'm pretty sure it is.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure something's good.
Or just search, it might be under ammunition. Anyway, we can deal with that later.
He's gonna be like, thank you, and yeah. He's gonna walk out.
So, as you exit this gunsmith's tent, you're approached by a tall half-elf with short black hair. He is thin but muscular, and he wears leather armor, which serves well for protection. A dagger is belted to his waist, and a bow is strung to his back. He seems to be watching everything, as if he expects trouble.
Hello, good sir. Are you one of the guards?
I have a hunch that this might be Dory.
I am Dorian. And good day, hunters. I was told by Bova you needed a guide to the mines.
Yes.
That would be me.
We weren't expecting you so soon. Bovar said you were a few days out.
Oh, I was just hunting some bandits in the nearby wilderness.
The same bandits who were terrorizing Frederick.
Yes, me and Frederick have been talking about it, and I've been trying to find their hideout, but so far, nothing's come up.
Well, perhaps once we have resolved this situation, we can, or at some point during this situation, we can help you. We are monster hunters of all kinds. Monsters do not have to be other than humanoid.
I know something about that.
Yes, well, I hope you do better than the last group.
That explains the
I was
stuff.
stuck up there for days waiting for them.
No, I mean, you're
Oh,
a perfectly
dear.
wonderful person, but what about
They
your dad?
never came out?
Yes, I led them to the mine, but they never left. At least not that I know of.
So Mauvis was trapped in the mine for several days and very well could have dehydrated to death.
Well, they
What
might
a
have
way to be
rations.
positive.
They might
Would
have
rations include more water than just a water skin? It only takes 3 days.
They could have stretched it out. Probably. I don't know. I just passed them the whole crap.
You are not positive, Kitty, aren't you?
I merely have accepted the fact that death is a part of life. It is no shame.
Yeah, what is the
Why
point
do
of
we
living if you
care?
eventually don't live?
Because while it is a part of life and living, it is still just to protect those who have not caused harm.
Well, maybe try to respect the dead.
Yeah, as you speak, Dorian says, "There's the Mauvis people. I'm honestly not that sad about it. They were not the greatest people. I talked to Bovar and they took a lot of money."
Yes, that sounds about right.
They still were people.
Yes, but this town has not yet recovered from our regression. They were a rude bunch too.
That does seem to be the case with many from that sect.
So that's just stereotyping. I think that's quite rude.
Is it stereotyping if it's accurate?
Yes. It is still
It's
stereotyping.
still stereotype. Yes, it is an accurate stereotype, but still a
Stereotype nonetheless.
I know many of people from Navis who are not influenced by gold.
We don't.
Yeah, we really don't have
How often do you
not get out
talk to the Navis? How often do you talk to them? Because you have your own sub-region.
I've talked to them once or twice over the years, so you do have a point.
I have to talk to every sect
Well,
every time something like this
We
happens.
don't really leave a lot, do we?
No.
Right, Caves, pass.
And Dorian says, "Oh, well, the mines aren't too far. Just about an hour's hike. If you're prepared, we can leave now."
I do think
some rations.
yes,
Get beforehand.
and to rest, recharge our resources.
And I will say this, you guys have, like, basic rations on you.
I would like to do a long rest to recover spell slots.
Oh, yeah,
I would like to ask for more rations, I guess, too. Unless we're being supplied them.
Well,
Plus, Rosie's hungry. And
If
we
you're-
should feed the child.
not quite ready
Hi,
yet.
child.
I will be
Right, the very small
waiting.
adult.
Yeah.
I do think at dawn we will be ready.
Says, "Very well." And,
Where shall we meet you?
says, "Well, I think the mayor's house would be the best for that.
Outside or in the foyer?
Just outside the mayor's house. Will work. I'll be there at first light."
Yes. Sounds like a plan.
And Dorian walks off. And you can see, like, as he walks through, like, some of the villagers greet him. Like, he's well known.
Can we go eat spaghetti or something?
Sure. We'll
we
find
shall-
something similar.
Yes, we shall see what the Forest Inn has.
I will say this, the Forest Inn does not, from what you saw, does not look like it serves food, but
The town
Denner's does.
Okay, let's go to Denner's.
Dinner for dinner.
Whoa!
I think it is a good idea that we rest first because that will give us more daylight to use while in the mines, even though we won't have it physically with us.
All the worst things come out at night, even when night is not perceptible to.
Yeah, we'll probably just hang out there, eat some food, and go to the inn.
Yeah, so I'm not gonna go over you guys eating a meal,
Mm-hmm.
but you go to Denner's. The expenses have been paid for by the mayor, and you're able to eat a pretty decent meal without paying for it. Yeah.
And we return to the Forest Inn for a long rest.
Yes.
So you return to the Forest Inn. There is nobody at the front desk this time, but there are like the rack of keys, and you guys can pretty easily find your rooms.
Not good if someone else with ill intentions came by.
And yeah, like while this is happening, I would like to during the night I wanted to investigate the crystal more.
Okay, so are any of you guys going to do anything? I know you are. Is anybody else going to do anything before you guys take your long rest?
No, I'm
Just getting my beauty sleep.
I'll probably also make an investigation check on the crystals without touching it.
Okay, so both of you, just you two?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, both of you guys can make investigation checks.
Or is it Arcana?
Or you could do Arcana or investigation, but the results will be different based on what you rolled.
That is a 14.
Is that perception or Arcana?
Either way, it's a +1. So I'm just gonna say investigation.
Okay, so you study. Is it one of his or?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's the only one with
None
the
of us purchased or acquired any.
But you can probably find one around, and you are looking at this, and I want you to make a Constitution save.
Oh dear.
I actually do think it's quite pretty now.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no. 5.
You get the feeling that this is a really beautiful rock, and you kind of want to take it with you.
Oh. I was looking at one of Gilbert's. Do you mind if I have this?
Wait, no. Is this one of mine?
Yeah, I wasn't looking at one of the.
Oh, okay. No. And he's just very, no, you're not allowed that.
Kind of glares a little bit.
Comment. It is Gilbert. He did get it.
That's kind of makes a fist and notice the claw are kind of digging into their skin. That is just.
And he kind of moves, scooches it towards him a little bit of ooh, somebody likes the rock too.
I don't trust this.
I don't want to touch the rock. No, I don't want to touch the rock.
And I got a 9 on investigation.
Nothing different. At all.
Since Colin's acting strange, I think Kira would also make a check for that.
Rosemary tried to.
What are you making a check on?
Older than Arcana check?
On the rock?
Yes.
Okay.
On the rock. I'm gonna be possessed. 17.
So,
Without touching it.
investigation, right?
Yes.
Or Arcana?
No, Arcana.
Arcana. So, you have magic, right? You're a practitioner of magic.
Yeah, I'm a druid.
So, as a druid, this rock doesn't really give off much of a sort of magical energy. You study it for a while, and it appears to be a normal, crystal, but with a 17, you have the feeling that perhaps its creation is magical? You're not sure. But I also want you to make a Constitution save.
Nat 20.
Yeah, you notice nothing.
That rock is quite stupid. Yes, well, I don't sense very much. It has, like Comet has seen before, a very faint sense of magic. I think it might have been made by magic, but I'm not sure about that. It is a hunch. Okay.
Can we try breaking the rock?
No.
If you break the rock, you'll have more of
Have
the
we already
rock.
done our long rest?
You know what? I will say for the sake of time, you guys have already done your long rest.
Nice.
Alright.
And then, yeah, so I'm just gonna be like, no, you're not breaking the rock, because there could be other things at play here. And we should, and I'll say, let's go meet that guy. I forgot his name. Dorian.
Yes, it has gotten quite early. Shall we proceed to Bovar's Manor?
Yes.
Sure.
You guys walk through the streets again. It's early in the morning. There's a lot less activity than when you guys were there in the day. But you approach Bovar's very nice looking manor. And outside is Dorian, dressed the same as when you first saw him. sort of twiddling with his dagger.
Can I touch it?
Oh, this is mine. And he puts it in his sort of like sheath on his belt.
Yes.
Greetings
Not
and
a
well.
child.
I'm not a child. Greetings and well met, Dorian. I do believe we are ready.
Yes, good. Well, we shouldn't delay. It is a long walk.
Of course.
And as he, tells you this, he starts walking, and you guys, as you walk out of the village, he immediately heads to this very, very well-worn path. The path to the mine is rough and winding in and out of trees, which are dense and wet. The trail is slightly muddy but usable, and wind coming through the valley makes it a very chilly morning. And as you walk, Dorian says,
Well, if there's anything you want to talk about on our way there, I would be happy.
I bet Jack could climb some of these trees.
We don't have time for that.
Unfortunately,
Too
we do.
long.
It'll take long enough to.
Dorian, would you happen to know anything about these disappearances? Despite we've gathered some information, but I would like more on what we might fix.
Well, have you met Hammerhand?
Mm-hmm.
Others like him in town. They've lost people. They don't quite have the memory blank he does. They just... People will wake up and they can't find family members. Or... A friend of mine recently disappeared without a trace. Said he was going hunting and never came back.
So they have stated they aren't just up and leaving town, they just poop.
I can't tell, honestly, although you should know, from what I can tell, Hammerhand blinded himself. I can't reason why he did it, but when I found him, I found him on that street. He was holding a kitchen knife in his hands. I'm sure he did it to himself.
The kitchen knife was bloody.
It was hard to tell. It was raining, but I believe so.
I'm starting to think it might not be the monsters that are the problem with this town.
Do you have any theories?
You did not see him blind himself. You just saw him blind.
No, but I'm pretty certain it was him. His wounds did not look like that of an animal's. They looked like that of a unwieldy blade.
Oh, that's what I think.
Do you have any theories on what could be causing some of this unusual activity?
Unfortunately, I don't know. All I know is that if you don't help, this town won't last long. Without the mine, there's not going to be anyone here by winter. No money, no people.
I think that it might be, like I said before, a hunch that these rocks might have been created by magic. If they were, it might be the magic user who was causing the problem.
Well, maybe he saw a monster, and if he's insane, he does not think rationally. And to unsee something, maybe get rid of the part that sees.
That was another hunch, although I feel like it might be slightly less likely.
These crystals, while alluring in nature, do seem to have an unusual connection with all these events.
They do.
I'm disdaining these things more and more as we go on.
Please get rid of the rock.
The rock is pretty. You could tell them about it. They will agree.
The rocks are alluring. Why would we get rid of them?
Exactly.
Because they drove a man insane.
I mean,
Why are you all looking at me?
like
You were against these things, like, religiously a few hours ago.
Did something happen, Comet? I think Gilbert might be possessing Comet.
no.
I
don't think that's in his
Change my
strategy.
mind.
I would not trick. You touched the rock. Nothing. I touched it.
I understand.
You got germs on it. I don't want it.
That it's quite alluring.
Please don't touch me with a rock.
You're strong, Dragonborn.
Almost like push his hand out. Just, I'm not going to deal with that right now.
Usually
Shall we proceed further? You all seem to be unnecessarily worried.
Rose is gonna like scoot away from both of you two, go next to the Dragonborn instead. I don't like this.
As you speak, Dorian says,
Oh, the crystals have that effect on people. They are quite beautiful. I myself I couldn't care either way, as long as the town prospers.
She's gonna like mumble over her face. Someone saying for words.
Respectable people.
Yes.
and after about an hour of hiking through this trail, you come across this sort of smaller valley cut out into the side of the larger valley that this town is situated in. And at the end, you see a mineshaft entrance. Dark and emanating a sense of dread.
This is bad.
The entrance is mossy and looks to be in disrepair, but has seen use within the last couple of months.
Can I roll like investigation on just like the general like I guess more vibe of like why it feels like dread or like how rundown it is? Like, is it like a chance that it could collapse or something like that?
Go ahead.
That is a 24.
The mine seems sturdy enough. It stood for a while, so you're guessing it's not about to fall down.
I suppose we gotta look inside.
Okay. As you enter,
I'm going to.
the mines are old, cold, and damp. A slight smell of death permeates the air, and small crystals grow out of the walls. Every step you take fills the air with dust. This place has been abandoned for a while. When everything goes quiet, you can hear the sounds of something. Perhaps rocks falling distantly in the tunnel.
I have my doubts.
It feels like the walls could collapse at any moment, even though you're sure they're sturdy. The darkness presses in, and Dorian lights a torch and says,
Well, follow me.
and that is where we end our first session.
This is very good.
Yeah.
I don't like the crystals. This
I
has a
don't
very
like this.
This has a very
This
Hollow Knight
feels
vibe
like
to
something
it.
I dealt with before when they all